Good evening. My name is Brayton. I believe Dr. and Mrs. Doring are expecting me.
Will you come in, sir?
Thank you.
Chilly out, isn't it, sir?
Yes, it is rather.
Who is it, Molly?
Mr. Brayton, ma'am.
Mr. Brayton, how nice to see you.
Good evening, Mrs. Doring.
I'd like to commend you on your fine progress in tutoring my son.
Thank you.
Malcolm seems to idolize you. But what's more important, he's actually beginning to enjoy his studies.
Malcolm's a bright boy.
He was rather disappointed when I told him he wouldn't be dining with us, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'm sure Malcolm sees quite enough of me.
Oh, my husband said he wanted a word with you as soon as you arrived. He's waiting for you in the... Malcolm, it's well past your bedtime. You're a mischievous lad sometimes. Molly, will you show Mr. Brayton to the conservatory?
Yes, ma'am.
The conservatory is where my husband indulges the scientific side of his nature, the study of animal life. Oh, I should warn you, Mr. Brayton, his taste unfortunately runs rather to the lower types.
You come this way, please, sir. You'll find the doctor in here, sir.
Dr. Doring?
Ah, Brayton. Is that you?
Yes.
I'm so pleased you could come.
I had no idea you were an amateur scientist. So this is what your wife meant by the lower types.
I see she's been getting at you already. Yes, my scientific interests are decidedly reptilian. Dragons of the prime, nature's vulgarians, I love them all. My wife refers to me as the Zola of zoology.
Mrs. Doring apparently doesn't share your enthusiasm.
No. And therefore, she has been excluded from what I call the snakery and doomed to the companionship of her own kind. As Malcolm, I'm pleased to say, shares my interest in snakes. But I expect he's mentioned it too.
Oh, yes he has. But I'd no idea that he had access to live ones.
Yes, well, I hope, Brayton, that you won't do anything to discourage him.
Oh, certainly not, certainly not. I always encourage my pupils in outside interests.
As my wife, you see, is utterly opposed to our son following in my reptilian footsteps. Yes, you mustn't allow her to charm you into dissuading Malcolm.
Certainly not.
Well, now, let's show you some of my beauties. Come over here. Now, yes, let's start with him. Now, this lovely fellow here, he's a royal python. He comes from Africa. He's quite a nice chap. Look,
is he dangerous?
Oh, no. He's an old friend, this one. Here, look at him. You see, when you hold him like this, he rolls himself up into a ball. Some people call them ball python. He's about 4 years old, that chap. Isn't he beautiful?
They never close their eyes, have they?
No. Yeah?
Excuse me, sir. It's nearly 8 o'clock.
Oh. Yes. Oh, very well. Yes, all right. Tell Mrs. Doring that I'm coming.
Very good, sir.
I'm sorry about that. I shall have to go and dress for dinner, I'm afraid. Yes, it is 8 o'clock. Well, now, would you like to go on having a look around here, or perhaps you'd care for a drink?
Well, with your permission, Doctor, I would prefer a drink.
Yes, all right, certainly. Well, come along this way. There we are. After you. Up the stairs.
Hurry, please, Theo. The Gordons will be here any minute.
The Gordons? You haven't invited them.
Now, Theo, they're only in England for a few weeks.
Colonel Gordon has spent nearly 30 years in India and has never, I repeat, never seen a specimen of a king cobra. A most tiresome fellow.
Running like rabbits they were.
My dear, doesn't it terrify you living so close to those awful reptiles?
After 20 years, one gets used to anything.
Just the idea that at any moment you may meet some venomous creature prowling the corridor. I can't bear to think of it.
You're not far from the truth, Mrs. Gordon.
What do you mean?
It's been something of a tradition that my creatures have been found in parts of the house where it might have been embarrassing for them to explain their presence.
Don't let him frighten you, Mrs. Gordon. Some of those snakes are perfectly harmless. But I quite agree with you. Snakes in the home are de trop. Matter out of place and impertinence. Even the barbarous taste of our time has not quite fitted a place in the home for these savage bits of jungle life.
Oh, just to think they breathe the same air.
I believe, Doctor, I have something of a surprise for you this trip home.
Good, I like surprises.
Before leaving Delhi, I came across a snake charmer with an enormous cobra. First I'd ever set eyes on. A king cobra, to be sure.
Well, the details, man, the details.
A terrifying experience. I'd been watching the snake charmer for some time, and I suddenly became aware that the cobra was staring at me. It made me shudder. My eyes became fixed, fastened, as it were, to the shining glare of the creature's eyes. Damn near took my soul away. I felt rooted to the ground. My blood grew strangely cold. I felt a gradual freezing, vein by vein, throughout my entire person. These poisonous snakes can charm you. Of that I am convinced.
If I might say so, Colonel, a charming story.
A snake charming a man? Bah! You don't believe in this charming nonsense, do you, Brayton?
I certainly do not. Oh, it may be possible for a man to charm a snake, but the reverse. A snake charming a man strikes me as the greatest of fancies.
Well, the sensations I described were these just the same. And, Mr. Brayton, I read recently in an old scientific work that it has been attested by many wise and learned people that snakes possess a magnetic property, and that whoever falls into their suasion is drawn towards the creature despite his will and perishes by the snake's bite. And that, Mr. Brayton, was in old Marister's Marvels of Science.
With all due respect, Colonel, the only marvel in the matter is that the wise and learned in Marister's day should have believed such nonsense. Excellent wine, Doctor.
Shall we leave the gentleman, then?
Of course.
Well, gentlemen, I have some excellent brandy in my study in this way.
Thought one of those creepy things had got loose again. And what are you doing in here? You know your mother doesn't like you in here with these slimy creatures. Now look, do you want me to tell Mr. Brayton that you're in here and that you won't go to bed when you're told? He'll come and give you what for, that's for sure.
Good night,
Filthy, venomous things.
Now, Brayton, bring a drink and we'll go to the snakery.
Oh, splendid.
In that case, I'll leave you two. Good night, Mr. Brayton. Please come and see us soon again.
Good night, Mrs. Druring. And thank you so much for your kind hospitality.
Now, Theo, don't keep our guest too long.
I won't.
I'm sure he has better things to do than look at snakes.
Good night, Amelia. Come along, then. I hope you don't mind staying on for a bit.
Not at all.
It's just that man Gordon spoils any chance of an interesting evening with his awful stories. I've been looking forward to continuing our conversation in private. That's on. I'm sure I closed it earlier.
Gordon seems so true to type somehow, don't you think? I mean, the bluff, hearty soldier, not much imagination, I'd have thought. I'm surprised that he, of all people, should fall prey to such alarming fantasies.
Oh, my dear boy. Colonel Gordon's like any other old Indian Army waller. Can't resist a good story, especially if it's got any Oriental hocus-pocus in it. He'll be serving up the Indian rope trick next. It goes down well in the mess, old boy, what?
It's curious, isn't it, how people have such an inherent fear of snakes?
Yes. Yet, you know, children, I mean, little toddlers who are instinctively terrified by the sight of a large animal, such as a cow or a dog, show absolutely no fear of snakes. I mean, they'll reach out their hand to touch them. And they've even been known to handle venomous snakes without coming to any harm.
Extraordinary.
Yes. Yes. Now, I look upon the snake with a totally different feeling from most people. To me, the snake is an object of wonder. I marvel at their physical grace. Here, come over here and I'll show you one here. The black mamba. Isn't it beauty?
Poisonous?
Oh, my dear chap, one of the deadliest snakes on earth. This poison's of the neurotoxic kind. It attacks the nervous system, causes paralysis. Now, bitten, a man will die within an hour. Come over here. Oh, now, you'll find this interesting. He's just shed his skin, you see? There's the old skin. That's a rat snake from India.
You know, I believe the serpent is more widely distributed in the mythologies of the world than any other creature. Snakes even appear in myths of lands where there are no snakes, such as among the Eskimo.
Yes, that's perfectly true. You find it hot in here, actually.
It's a bit humid.
Oh, they like it.
They certainly have a thoroughly evil reputation.
Yes, well, to people whose religion is based on the Bible, the snake is certainly the arch villain. But it wasn't so at all to those people who worshipped the deities of ancient Egypt or Rome or Greece. Now to them, the serpent was their hero, savior, healer, a symbol of medicine, full of curative powers. Good gracious me, since really the time, it's nearly midnight. Oh dear. How time flies when one's in good company.
I've enjoyed every minute.
Good, I'm pleased. Well, are you squeamish?
Well, why do you ask?
Well, I ought to feed one of my snakes, and some people find that it's not really a very pretty sight.
I think I can bear it.
Good. Well, it won't take a moment. Just... Just open up here. There we are. There we are. Well, now, to bed. You'll stay the night, of course.
Oh, no. I wouldn't like to put you out.
Oh, my dear chap's no trouble at all. I mean, you'll never get a cab at this time of night. Of course you must stay. Come along. You know, I question man's feeling of revulsion and horror at the sight of these creatures. I mean, why that horror? It's out of all proportion to the creature's real power. I mean, the horrors of the myth, not of the creature.
And the power to fascinate, which Gordon believes in so implicitly, is simply part of the myth.
Dear chap, nothing more. Let me show you the way. There we are. I'll just turn this up. Whew, stuffy in here. It's like breathing cotton wool.
Don't worry.
I'll just open a window. There we are. That's better. Well, my boy.
I shall be most comfortable here.
Good. Well, plenty of books here if you want any reading matter. I can recommend this if you're not too bored with the subject of snakes. You'll find more information on one page of this than you will in the whole of Mellister.
I'm sure I'll find it fascinating.
Good. Well, I'll say good night then.
Good night.
Sleep well.
I will, thank you.
Oh, and if you want anything, just call out. I rather suspect the servants have gone to bed by now.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
I have just acquired, by exchange with Dr. Muller, a splendid specimen of Ophiofagus.
And what might that be?
Oh, bless my soul, what profound ignorance. My dear, a man who ascertains after marriage that his wife doesn't know Greek should be entitled to a divorce. Ophiofagus is a snake which eats other snakes.
I hope it will eat all yours. How'd you get the other snakes? By charming them, I suppose.
Oh, Amelia, please. You know how irritating that idea is to me.
God's name, what was that?
Brayton!
What is it, sir? Is he all right?
Quick, Molly! Help me. Give me a hand. Turn him over. Gently, gently. Get me that hammer off the dressing table, quickly.
What's happened to him, sir?
He's dead.
Oh, dreadful. Poor man.
Molly, you better go and tell Mrs. Druring. I'll see to things here. Good God! How did this thing get in here?